Welcome back to episode 2 of the 80 series engine rebuild. On today's video we will be just pottering around, putting bits and bobs on, putting the air intake, the exhaust manifold, the water pump, the timing belt gears and the timing belt, the front cover, and anything else that will need to go on the outside of the engine. We are waiting on a few studs as when I swapped over the head, some of the studs were left in the head and they weren't replaced. So we're just waiting on some studs. I'm going to try and see if my local shop have some. If not, I'll have to order some off Toyota. Other than that, yeah, stay with us and we'll show you what we're doing. Alright, so I've just got the water pump here. And I'm just putting in the bolts for the water pump. Putting a little bit of oil on the end to make sure they're lubricated. Alright, so these bolts here, not the alternator bolts, but just these bolts are to 20 Newton meters. So this is what I'm going to do now. This one. So you've got, if it focuses, top dead center, and then bottom dead center, which is here. So the line on the pulley has to line up to bottom dead center to put the timing belt on.
Like that? Oh, like that, right. I can't see the bolt holes. Yep. Just better put one bolt in this one, I think. Okay.
So this line here lines up with bottom dead center on there.
As well as the marks, we've got the sump off, and we know that that journal is at bottom dead center.
And then this mark here lines up with bottom dead center on this cover here. So now we're going to put the timing belt on just to make sure everything's okay, and then go off and make sure you seal everything.
Spin. They didn't say to Loctite it in?
We're going to have to pull it all off anyway.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, so just a bit of an update on what we've done. So we've replaced the two seals on this cover here, this one here and the one under the fuel pump. We've also then just temporarily put these covers on just to check that the timing belt marks and everything is correct. We've then gone and tensioned this tensioner and the pin here. We've then marked bottom dead center on the pulley, both pulleys and both top and bottom side of the belt. And now we're just going to turn the engine over and make sure it doesn't lock up and just turns freely as it should.
And
then that no valves hit the pistons as well when we turn the engine over. So that's what we're about to do now. And then we'll just basically take everything back off, seal it all, put all the bolts in, and then that'll be good to go. Well, I didn't want to turn it too fast in case anything went wrong.
How far off are we?
Not too far. Okay, so now we're up to putting the final timing case on the front. Cover, sorry.
About 4 hours today, about 5 hours yesterday. So we've put that motor together in about 15 hours.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Not bad.
Obviously just the nitty gritty things like the manifolds and things like that that's left to go.
Not bad for people who don't know what they're doing.
Welcome back to another day on the 80 series. On today's little snippet we will be putting the exhaust manifold and the air intake on. We've completely finished off the front timing section now. All we got to do is now just the harmonic balancer, the viscous hub and the fan. Okay, so I have gotten all the injector lines and injector line clamps on. As you can see there, there and there. So now I might move on to, I don't really know, maybe the viscous hub and the fan on the front. And yeah, just keep pottering along on these little things. Alright, so I've got the sump on now. It was a bit of a struggle doing it by myself, but we got there. We've also got the rear main on. So, yeah. We're slowly getting there. Slowly, slowly, slowly. We're hoping to have the engine... we're hoping to like turn the engine over this weekend. So, I think it can be done. Today is Tuesday. So... there's not a real lot left to do, to be honest. Alright, so I'm just going to continue on putting these bolts in the sump, and then once I'm done, I'll show you whatever I'm doing next. Okay, so that will be the end of today's little snippet. So basically what I've done is I've put the air intake on, the exhaust manifold on, all the injector lines, the glow plugs and the injectors, the bus bar for the glow plugs, the sump, the oil pickup. What else have I done? Yep, that's all I've done today, which is quite a lot by myself as well. So yeah, it's looking like a proper engine now. So I'll give you guys a bit of a look. Right, it's another day back in the shed with the 80, and today we're going to be giving the block a bit of a paint. Yeah, look, we probably should have painted it before we put everything on, but here we are. So, I'm just going to try and paint it as best as possible and not get the turbo. So I'm going to wrap the turbo up and wrap anything else up that I do not want painted. Okay, so I've gotten the oil feed line for the turbo, the oil pressure gauge, the aftermarket one, and the oil pressure gauge for the factory on there. So that's all done. And I've also put the power steering pump in there. I'll just mark those. Got a bit of oil in there. It's just quicker. Okay, and now I'm gonna... Alright, so I've got a new viscous hub here. Just this one here. So yeah, it's wrapping. Alright, that comes as done. That's very good. Beautiful. Very, very pretty. Okay, now I'm going to look up the torque setting for these. Shit. Did I just snap something? Oh. You're kidding. Didn't even have any pressure on that at all. Alright, I'm gonna get the aircon compressor on now. Alright, aircon pump on. Next job will be the top pulley. Okay, so I've got the alternator on as well. It was a bit of a pain in the ass, but we got there. And now I'm just going to take this pulley back off because I forgot to put this other one on. Okay, so I'm just about to put the fan back on for a second time. I've forgotten some of the pulleys. The pulleys are all back on now, so... Okay, so today I got quite a bit of parts on. So I got the aircon compressor, the alternator, the viscous hub, the fan, all the belts, the top pulley, everything's tightened. I also got the vacuum pump and the power steering pump in. And I got the turbo feed line and oil pressure gauges in as well. And I also painted the block black and the sump. And what else did I do? And I got the windscreen put in. So the windscreen is now put in and looks very nice. So I can start putting the windscreen wipers and the panel that goes here back on. But it's slowly coming together and everything's looking really, really nice. Alright, so it's another day back in the shed with the 80, and today is exciting because we are officially taking the engine off the stand and we are getting it onto this winch here. Just going to drop it down onto a tyre just so the winch hasn't got the whole weight of it. And then we're putting the flywheel and the clutch on once Andrew comes here with the clutch tool. And so yes, exciting times, and hopefully the engine will be going in tomorrow and we'll be connecting all the wires back to the engine and bolting it back to the gearbox, and hopefully everything runs smoothly. So exciting times. Alright, so flywheel on. And I've got bolts here and some Loctite. And I'm just going to put a drop on there. And these bolts have to be to 127 Newton meters as per the Toyota specifications. Alright, so I'm just going to go along and put the rest in. Torque wrench here set to 127 Newton meters. Oh, I'm not going to be able to do this on my own. Good morning. Today is engine day. So today we are putting this engine in the 80. So exciting times. Hopefully everything runs pretty smoothly. We don't think there's too much to plug back into the engine. I did notice that we are missing a plug. Other than that, stay with us and we'll show you us putting in the engine.
Right, so just about to put the engine in now. We just got to put the dump pipe on and then it's ready to go in. So we'll film it as we go.
Go your way.
What?
Put it on the turbo. You push the engine, I'll pull the car. Okay, don't pull it anymore because they're done. You need to go down.
I hate dump pipes.
Hang on. Okay. Torque all that up.
You're going to have to sort of maneuver it as well. Try and get it in that.
Alright, go push the car forward. No. Go up.
I'm just taking the gearbox with it.
Maybe you try and align it, Bob, and I'll push. Bob?
Yeah.
Anything?
No, it's just rocking.
Good?
Go.
Hallelujah! How hard was that? Raining men. Hallelujah. It's raining men.
Engine's in. Or not.
Hello, so as you can see we have got the front end of the 80 on. We didn't film much as we just really wanted to get it done and we had lots of issues throughout, so it's finished now and you guys probably don't want to see all the boring stuff. But yeah, the front end's on, everything's hooked up, intercooler hooked up. Just filled the radiator up with coolant, figured out all the coolant leaks, so there's no leaks now. We're about to put the engine oil in, hopefully there's no engine oil leaks. And then we can build up oil pressure and
Give it its first start.
give it its first start.
Good.
Well, there's nothing coming through.
Ready?
Yep. Keep going, fella.
Yeah.
Hang on.
You go?
No, not yet. There's it's not coming through.
Fine.
Oh, good stuff. So what about $2,000 on the highway?
Yeah.
Alrighty, so it has been 2 weeks since you would have seen us put the engine in the car. We have had a lot of issues. well, not a lot of issues, but one specific issue we were chasing, which is pretty important to be able to continue on with the rest of putting the car back together. So we were struggling to get oil pressure. We pretty much tried basically everything under the sun, had communications with many different mechanics, cylinder head shops, engine reconditioners, diesel pump people, everyone. Our mates that are mechanics, my dad's mates that are mechanics, family members that are mechanics, everyone under the sun. We had friends coming over to and from to try and figure out the issue. We've since figured out the issue. We basically tried, I'd say, 10 different things to try and see if we could gain oil pressure, in which we didn't, so we had to pull the whole front end apart. You would have seen that we probably put the radiator in and everything. I'm not sure if you would have seen that, but we did put the radiator and the condenser and the intercooler and everything like that in, all the piping, and then obviously we couldn't get oil pressure, so we went to all the different extremes to see if we could get oil pressure before pulling the front end apart. We obviously basically got to the last thing and then we had to pull the front end apart anyway, and we ended up finding that an O-ring seal has grabbed in the oil pump, and it's basically grabbed it and spun it and then just like spat it out and basically damaged it. So this is what it looks like. So that's the damaged one, and this is our new one here, so we were just waiting on this one. And then this is the pump here, the oil pump. Still in good condition, nothing wrong with it. It's just that the O-ring, well, basically all I can kind of make it down to is that we've obviously put the O-ring in the housing. We've then gone and bolted up to the engine and it's fell out somehow. Or we've bolted it in, hasn't been squished correctly, and then as the oil pump's gone to spin, it's just grabbed it and then just like ripped it out of its little housing that it goes in. But that's basically where we're at, so that's a bit of an update. Yeah, the whole front end of the car is obviously pulled apart, and this is where we're at the moment. So we still obviously have the engine in the car, but yeah, we have all the front of it pulled apart. So we were waiting on the O-ring, and I was going to wait for Andrew to come back because he's been coming to and from. The car's not in Brisbane. The car's 2 hours out of Brisbane, so Andrew's been coming up every single weekend to help me with the car. I've been staying down here working with my dad. So yeah, I was going to wait till he come up this weekend, but I'm basically just wasting time at this point. So I think I'm going to go ahead and start doing something. So I've got some motor assembly grease here that I'm going to use. So I'm just basically going to pack the gear full of grease. And then since we had issues with the O-ring, when I put it back in, I'm going to put a little bit of silicone on there to keep the O-ring in. Okay, so silicone it all in, greased up the gear, and then I'm just putting these bolts in now. I've aligned the pump with the housing as well. You just got to go off.
Fuel pump's unplugged?
Yes.
Am I just like tapping it? Just tap. Ready?
Again.
That sounds right.
Again. Again.
Anything?
Do we need to put oil in the pickup?
Anything? Alright, so we found the issue. It was the O-ring. We've got oil pressure now, we've got constant oil pressure, which is amazing. This bolt here for the timing belt kept coming loose, but we just took that out, cleaned the thread and everything, so that's all good now. Hopefully we'll give it another start and make sure it doesn't come loose. Alrighty, so it's the next day now. We just re-timed the timing belt here. It's heaps tighter than what it was, so I think the timing was out just by a tooth. But we fixed that now. And we're going to give it its first crank today. We've got oil pressure, so that's good. We're both a little bit nervous because we really hope this is it and it hasn't damaged anything. But yeah, we'll give it a go and hopefully that weird knocking sound or ticking sound isn't there. So let's do it. Make sure you record it and hold the... Alright, you move it out of the road a little bit too. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Pump the fuel a bit.
Yeah.
Ready?
Hang on. Oh, my nerves are kicking in.
Actually sounded better. Ready?
Let me be up here.
Is it getting oil pressure? Is it?
I think so, yeah. Alright, go now.
Alrighty guys, we're not really 100% sure where we left you. We've been really getting into it because we're on a bit of a time frame. But this is it as it sits right now. We've got to take the bull bar